Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you're all doing well. To start things off, blockchain development company known as Blockstream has released a new version of the Bitcoin scalability software known as C Lightning. A post on the company's blog revealed a couple of days ago, C Lightning is an implementation of the off-chain Bitcoin scaling solution, otherwise known as the Lightning Network, that is written in the C programming language. Per the announcement, this latest version, C Lightning 0.7, is the first major release in 8 months and brings performance enhancements, bug fixes, augmented privacy, and new features, as well as improved documentation. The new main feature is plugin support, which also allows developers to extend the capabilities of the software with plugins written in any programming language. The developers hope that this will contribute to the flexibility, extensibility, and customization of this Lightning Network implementation. This week, Blockstream's co-founder and CEO Adam Back participated in the Lightning Network-based Torch Relay. He then passed the torch to former PayPal COO and early Blockstream supporter Reid Hoffman. For those who have no idea what that is, apparently there's like a thing going on Twitter where everyone's sending Lightning Network payments between each other, kind of creating like a snowball effect where they're all attaching a tiny amount of Satoshis to the payment and kind of sending it to someone else. I have no idea how many are actually like or have played the game thus far, but it's apparently a very big thing, and major companies are trying to get into it to say that they've held it and so and so and so, and that they're sending it off to someone else. This is the first time in a very long time, it says 8 months, that we've actually had any updates on the Lightning Network. I think they may also be trying to do the same exact thing that they do with the Bitcoin network, at least to a smaller extent, as far as like making sure that when you do have an upgrade that there are no bugs or any like major problems inside of it, because I'm pretty certain still that the Lightning Network is going to be the thing that everyone is kind of betting on for when the prices do eventually start to go back up, because once again, we can't have a bull run and Bitcoin being laggy. It's just not a thing that we can really have going. So this ties almost directly into the first story as far as the Lightning Network. But this one I actually think is kind of cool and is very weird at the same time. Anyway, U.S. retail giant known as Kroger is no longer accepting Visa payment cards at its chain of Smith's food and drugstores. So Anthony Pompliano, who's like a major Bitcoin figure, tweeted an offer to hook them up, with Bitcoin's Lightning Network nationwide. It all started on Friday when Kroger announced the move to no longer accept Visa credit cards, citing excessive fees. The Smiths chain comprises of 134 food and drug stores across 7 states, employing around 20,000 people. Card fees charged by Visa are higher at Smiths than any other credit card brand, explained Kroger Mike Schlottman. He said Visa has been misusing its position and charging retailers excessive fees for a long time. When you ask if you ever get a chance, and this is why I always say we have our own part in this as well. When you go to a store, when you go to a shop, ask them how much they pay, either Visa or MasterCard or any of the other card companies, in fees, and it's an excessive amount. It's actually incredibly weird how much they pay, and I think this is why we're seeing so many banks and stuff like that right now. I'm pretty sure you've also seen maybe this happen to your bank, where they are kind of coming forward and they're saying, oh yeah, we're speeding up our payments. They may not be announcing that they're using blockchain yet, but they're all announcing that they have a new system where payments only take like a day or two as opposed to 7 days, because they realize, this system has been around since more or less the 70s with Swift and all that other stuff, where they got very comfortable knowing that they were the only competition. Like they kind of ran everything, so they could charge as much for fees as they possibly wanted, and you couldn't really move to another card company because they would also charge you excessive fees. So if you get a chance, homework for today, when you go to a shop or something like that along the way, ask them how much they pay for card fees, and just mention to them about cryptocurrencies and how there are less expensive ways for them to be able to do it, because I've spoken to a couple of people and they actually have agreed, have it have crypto as a payment option because they pay so much in fees when they use Visa or MasterCard. Anyway, continuing on, Visa is actually due to increase fees, look at that, for the bank processing card payments on behalf of merchants in April. In the circumstances, it seemed only natural for somebody to support a crypto alternative, and Pompliano rose to the occasion. He said, who knows someone on the leadership team here? He tweeted, he said, the Morgan Creek digital team will fly to meet them and then get them hooked up with the latest Lightning Network Nation. That was a very weird sentence. Lightning Network nationwide. A couple of hours later, a product manager from Kroger Digital tweeted a response and set up a conversation. The long story here is that they announced that they were getting rid of Visa. Pompliano sent out a tweet saying, "Hey, I can help you set up Bitcoin Lightning Network on your thing." Someone actually responded, and apparently, let's make it happen. DM Unbound. It looks like they may actually do this. The part that made me laugh when I was reading this earlier was actually this little paragraph right here. It says, obviously, the Ripple army drove right into this, questioning Lightning Network's readiness and suggesting XRP as a better alternative. More interestingly, some suggested selling Smith's gift card on Bitrefill, which would certainly make a zero effort stopgap solution. Who's writing these things? Like I said, I thought that was kind of funny. People on the XRP team, sometimes we can be a bit much, and I wasn't present for any of this happening, but I didn't find it surprising at all that people from the Ripple side would kind of fly forward and say, so and so. I mean, Lightning Network isn't 100% there, but they will eventually get there. I thought that was kind of fun. Anyway, the point is that normally when crypto celebrities, can I even call Pompliano a crypto celebrity? When they come forward and they kind of, say, hey, we can help you with this, we can help you with this, you usually don't get the people who run the company kind of manage a message back and say, hey, yeah, let's actually do this. I don't know. I found this kind of interesting because it just seems almost kind of random that this all even took place. Anyway, let's move on. So this is another one of the phones that we have floating around out there. There were at least like 7 or 8 that were announced. And this one is by the people from PundyX. It's called the XPhone. Not affiliated, not being paid by them. Someone was asking yesterday, am I being paid by the Ripple people? Nope, I'm not paid by anybody. I make these videos out of the kindness of my heart, not even joking. I get offers all the time to promote stuff. I don't promote anything. Now that that's out of the way, a prototype of the phone was first unveiled to the world last October when it was used to make the first phone call made on the blockchain. The new improved XPhone was showcased at the MWC Barcelona that was held from the 15th to the 28th of February. The device comes with the option of using the Function X blockchain developed by the team at PundyX for calling and messaging. Users can also turn off this option and revert to regular Android and the usage of centralized carriers, because of course they have to throw in the word centralized. Every XPhone is also a node on the network and contributes to the operation of the blockchain network. Zach Chia, founder and CEO of PundyX, explained how the blockchain phone will return data control back to the users and creators. He said, what this all means is that the data control can and must be given back to the users. Telecommunications and internet companies have derived tremendous value from controlling data. By decentralized apps, we can put this data onto the smart contract, effectively giving back control to creators and to users. Much of what we call peer-to-peer or decentralized services continue to be built upon centralized networks. We are changing that. So for those who don't know what he's talking about at all, there's a huge thing, and the timing of it is almost actually incredible as well. We know there's a huge situation where, not only the NSA, but also Google, Facebook, I guess to another extent, Amazon, and major other companies as well. They are harvesting tons of data. Everything that we search for, everything that we go to, every time that we click on the link, everything that you do in your emails is all being read and can be seen. You have a file on you. It's all kind of, we're in the future, so it was bound to happen. The point is, on the other side of this as well, is that we have a lot of people who are for these decentralized worlds, and I hope that they actually do what they're saying that they're going to do, as opposed to just trying to have like a cash grab, where pretty much they're trying to make systems where you can either choose to not have your data be harvested or seen at all, like you control it, you say exactly what happens to it, or on the flip side, you can have your data. I don't know if it's necessarily for this phone, but what they're also trying to do in other companies is that if you want your data to be used, you will then be paid for your actual usage. You may just be using Facebook, Instagram, so and so and so. But if you want them to see your data, you'll be paid what the other companies would normally be paid, because there's a reason why Facebook and Google are so large. They're making billions of dollars off of you clicking on stuff. So it's kind of weird. What was the other part of all of that? Yeah, the other part is that the other function of the phone is apparently you can switch from Android, or you can switch to a blockchain network type of thing. I like the idea of being able to switch back and forth. I would love, and I assume this will take maybe about a year or two, so I'm giving it some time, where we just have a complete blockchain phone, and I mean one that's affordable. Scrolling down over here, you can see the actual specs for the phone. It's going to be $599. It'll 48 megapixel rear camera. That's kind of insane. The point is, I'm still waiting for that glorious $199 smartphone. We have the $80 one from, I almost said Pandemonium. The name's not, it's Electronium. I was close. So this is like the legit 7th phone that we've seen from this blockchain phone thing. Apparently they must have all known, because they're all launching at the exact same time. Which one will make it? Who knows? I would not be surprised, in my own opinion, if Google, Apple, and I want to say Facebook to a certain extent started losing market cap, or people started leaving them for more decentralized options. If they announced as well in 2 years that they're also trying to join the game, they believe in decentralization and that they believe in customer rights and data, and you control your own stuff and try to sell phones in that way as well, like also like blockchain phones, I can feel it coming. You know, they don't really want to miss out on the latest trend. Anyway, I spent too much time talking about an XPhone by PundyX, but I mean, to be fair, it is kind of cool, but the price points out there are a little bit too much for what I'm willing to pay. Next up, Wyoming has been aggressively persistent in their stride towards integrating blockchain technology and new regulations that make innovation possible. The state has created a climate that is enticing to blockchain companies, with big names like Cardano, Kraken, and Consensus already getting involved. Now, a company called Free Range from New Mexico is coming in, but they have a goal in mind: becoming the first digital asset bank in the country. The Special Purpose Depository Institutional Bill HB 0074 was signed by Governor Mark Gordon this week, implementing a law that made it possible for Wyoming to host crypto banks, which no other state has done yet. This is why I always get so confused. Like, one would assume that New York would be at the top of the game. Like, you've all heard of New York. You know that New York is full of people with money. You would assume that. Can you imagine how big crypto would be if New York was the first one? I mean, not knocking Wyoming at all, but I mean, one would assume it would be like California or New York or maybe even DC. Just my opinion. Caitlin Long, a blockchain advocate and an advisor for the Wyoming Blockchain Coalition, explained that the law will hopefully put aside the horror stories of crypto startups seeing their liquidity blown away. Blockchain companies have seen a lot of roadblocks in the banking industry, considering that they are federally regulated and that their policies on cryptocurrencies have been a little unclear. COO Amber Teresas of Free Range explained that blockchain companies need to be allowed to hold and use bank accounts to show their validity as a U.S.-based company. Even though Wyoming put forth positive legislation for blockchain technology this year, the companies that use it still have been able to bank anywhere. This actually ties directly into the other thing that we're going to talk about. It's very weird, and part of my problem is it has to do with, like, it's difficult for blockchain and crypto companies and crypto startups to get a bank account anywhere around, in many places around the world right now. It's very difficult, especially within the United States. And part of what annoys me is that you all know, and I know what's going to happen. When crypto finally does start to take off, a lot of the banks who were talking smack for a very long time are going to announce that they're going to be listing these same services that they would have never mentioned before or listed before. And they're going to try and act as if they have always been an advocate of cryptocurrencies and blockchain and decentralized technologies when they really don't care. I hope or wish that there were other... I know Coinbase in their own right tried to become a bank. We'll get into that in a couple seconds. We know that Litecoin bought a stake in a bank. We know that other German company bought an entire bank. I feel like there has to be enough money backing cryptocurrencies, at least Ethereum, Cardano, maybe even Tron. This is why Tron annoys me sometimes, because Imagine if Tron, they spent $100 million on BitTorrent. Imagine if they had, weird story, I've Googled it before, how to buy a bank. Don't ask, I'm just that kind of person. It costs anywhere between like $4 to $8 million to buy like an online digital bank. If you want to buy like a physical locality of a bank to be able to acquire like a 100% stake in like a major, not like a JP Morgan, but like another bank, it's maybe about 25, maybe to $50 million. Like there's a lot of paperwork behind it, obviously, which would comes out to like another $5 million. But for around $55 million, you can buy a major bank. And this is why I was like, the money that Tron put into BitTorrent could have been used to imagine if Tron had created like Tron banking, and it was exclusively something for cryptocurrency projects, startups, exchanges, all these other places to be able to open up bank accounts with them. And since they have a bit of an influence, I'd assume it seems like in China, that they can you see where I'm going with all of this? This is why sometimes like people throw money around in the cryptocurrency space and it seems to just be hype. Like there's so many things that we actually need in crypto. We don't need more dApps. We don't need to collect digital cats. We need like actual infrastructure for the cryptocurrency space. And the only infrastructure that's really being built is by the people who hate us, because they're trying to get control of crypto by buying up as much as they can so that they can control the cryptocurrency space. And it seems like so many people within the cryptocurrency space, I mean, the major players who have the people who go and brag that they made millions and like half $500 million because of they got into crypto so early. Imagine if they all put 5 million together. Like, where's Roger Ver, creating a crypto, whatever. I'm rambling on. So much of it is very nonsensical. So many, we could have a very tight space. We could have almost like an impenetrable space if everyone, at least the major players in the cryptocurrency space, kind of got together, sat down. There's so much infighting. Like, imagine if we had like 5 different crypto banks. Imagine if the people from Cardano, Tron, let's say EOS, Litecoin, and other random coin had created their own digital banks for different countries and different jurisdictions. One in the U.S., like those free online banks. Imagine one in the U.S., one in Canada, one in Europe, one somewhere in Africa where they could permeate multiple countries at the exact same time, and one in South America where they could also, land in one country and have other people from South American countries be able to do that as well. $5 million. I'm pretty sure they all have $5 million. Create their own crypto banks and allow these people in these countries, especially if these people are unbanked and they have no access to actual banks who don't like them. Like in other countries we were talking about, where in South America, 600 million people don't have access to banks. You see where I'm going? Like, this is why I get so frustrated sometimes, because so many we could have a crypto utopia right now. We could have no discussions about needing, like, we could get news about an ETF passing and it would do nothing to the prices, because we would already be so much further up, because we would have so much more infrastructure. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm simplifying things horribly. Maybe I am just too utopian in my entire view, but you see exactly what I'm talking about. You can Google it. Google right now on your phone, on your tablet, wherever you are. How much does it cost to open a bank? You'll find the information. I was going to say it doesn't cost a lot. It costs a lot less than a lot of the other stunts that these coins have been doing. I'm going to move on from this simply because I'm getting myself riled up. Just my own personal opinion. This actually ties, once again, directly into the next story. Like directly into it. Companies in the cryptocurrency industry still have trouble opening bank accounts. Major financial publication Bloomberg reported on the 3rd of March. The report cites the complaint of Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of quantitative crypto trading company Alameda Research, that the standard answer of just go to your local Chase branch doesn't work in crypto. Bankman-Fried also added that it is not illegal for banks to serve crypto businesses, but it's a massive compliance headache and they don't want to put the resources in to solve it. Bloomberg also points out, while the largest banks avoid serving companies involved in crypto, smaller ones are trying to get hold of this unserved subset of the market. Such an example given is the report is Silvergate Bank in San Diego, which reported Lee said in November 2018, filing for an IPO, that crypto businesses have as much as $40 billion to deposit. According to Bloomberg, Sunny Singh, chief commercial officer of BitPay, a crypto payment processor with a former chairman of the US SEC, as an advisor, said that the company has been turned away by many banks. Blockchain investment trading and advisory firm NKB Group is another example given by Bloomberg of a company that has struggled to establish banking relationships. Ben Sebley, NBK's head of brokerage, reportedly said, denying basic banking is madness, impedes sector growth, and forces companies to get creative to solve problems. The banks are being overly prudent. Yes, they are. I don't know. I'm not a major millionaire banker crypto player in this, so I don't know the specifics of exactly what's going on, but this could all be solved. There's always one bank. There's always one somewhere who is willing to kind of accept you. And I mean, if they won't do it, then we have to do it. There's so much money. You've seen the documentaries. You've seen the guys driving around in Lambos. I'm surprised that no one has bought a huge stake in a major banking company, organization, something to be able to get a bank account. I mean, whatever. It's just how the industry is right now. I don't know, whatever. I'm done rambling on about it, but it's kind of weird when even Bloomberg has to report on it. There's so much wasted money. There's so much wasted funds. People are throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at these stupid projects, these stupid dApps, these stupid things that we don't need. As opposed to, if you even had the top 15 coins have a meeting together, Bitcoin excluded. I mean, you could have the people from Blockstream there as well, and they all put in $2 million to buy a huge bank or buy a 51% stake in a bank and allow whatever. I'm done. It's just, I feel like so many of the major names in cryptocurrency are great at starting companies, but they don't really know how to move forward from that. They know how to code, but they don't really get the logistics. If they won't allow us to have bank accounts, you can buy your own bank. There are banking acquisitions that happen all the time. You can read about them from other major companies. And they paid $45 million for a controlling stake in this bank. We can also do that. Not me personally. I mean, we collectively, crypto community. Anyway, from this, let's move on. Look at her face. Next up, Christine Sandler, Coinbase's director of institutional sales, has defended the crypto exchange's controversial acquisition of blockchain intelligence firm known as Neutrino. In an interview with financial news channel known as Cheddar on the 1st of March, Sandler said that the previous client data providers were selling Coinbase user data to outside sources. As reported, major U.S. crypto exchange and wallet Coinbase first announced the Neutrino acquisition on the 19th of February, saying that it would make use of the startups, advanced blockchain analytic tools, anti-money laundering, and know your customer technology. The move swiftly became controversial as details of the Neutrino's co-founder backgrounds came to light, specifically their prior involvement with commercial software firm Hacking Team, whose spyware has reportedly been used by a broad canopy of international governments and law enforcement agencies with authoritarian regimes, allegedly among them. In response to the crypto community's furor over these connections, which spawned the hashtag delete Coinbase hashtag, Sandler defended the exchange's decision, telling Cheddar that it was important to leave their current providers due to their data selling practices. They said, and I do quote, "We are aware of the backgrounds of some of the folks that were involved in Neutrino. It was important for us to migrate away from our current providers. They were selling client data to outside sources, and it was compelling for us to get control over that and have proprietary technology that we could leverage to keep the data safe and protect our clients," end quote. So this happened a couple of days ago when the hashtag came out. I saw it on Twitter, kind of breezed over it, if you will. So someone created a hashtag that says delete Coinbase. They created it because Coinbase bought a company called Neutrino, or rather have an acquisition in Neutrino. Neutrino has been known to give customer data to authoritarian regimes that don't do well by their citizens and international governments and law enforcement agencies, which pretty much means that when we talk about crypto, the entire point is to be able to control your own private keys and to be able to control, once again over here, to control your own data, to have control over everything. And if you give your coins to Coinbase, Coinbase then is able to, they already have your data. They pretty much also have your private keys. So them buying Neutrino was a red flag for a lot of people, but Coinbase says that the reason they're using Neutrino is because they had to get away from the other people who were selling client data that they were using before, and now they're using Neutrino to not have to sell the client data, even though Neutrino has a somewhat dark and or shady past, allegedly. Who knows? I mean, this is not the only shady thing happening in the cryptocurrency space. Coinbase not doing too well in any aspect. But yeah, this is, for those who are wondering why there may have been something floating around about Coinbase, this is exactly what it was. She looks so angry. Him too. Anyway, this is the Coinbase news. There are a lot of people who are very upset with Coinbase, and when I looked a bit further into it, people have been trying to close their Coinbase accounts, what have you. But apparently you can't do this because Coinbase has a dust feature. So if you've ever sent, let's say you're using Binance and you're sending Bitcoin to yourself or Ethereum to yourself, and you say, I want to send the whole lot. I want to send everything at once. And then you check your Binance account later on, you'll see that there's still 324 Satoshi that just didn't go through. The network just couldn't take it, or, Binance, held it up for whatever reason. Coinbase does the exact same thing. So if you try to take all your coins off of it, it doesn't work that way. You still have some dust, as it's called, left behind. So you'll still have 300 Satoshis, maybe 11 Satoshi worth of Ethereum, so on and so forth. And people, you're not able to close your account as long as you have money in it. So what people have been doing, allegedly, this is what I read around on the internet, is that you have to send your dust to another user, and apparently that works. Apparently there's no fee for that, and then you're able to close your Coinbase account. So saith the internet. This is what I read around. I feel like Coinbase could have had a very good spot in the cryptocurrency space. I feel like they could have. So many of their acquisitions have been very questionable. So many of the people who they've hired have been questionable. Them not adding coins when Binance was just adding 50 coins at a time also stifled Coinbase's growth. I think Coinbase, I don't think they're going to go anywhere, but I think they could have been like an actual, them and Binance together could have been major players and huge juggernauts in the space. But Coinbase at every turn, they have no idea what they're doing. I still wonder who their head of management is, or their PR. I really just don't know, because they don't get it. They don't understand anything about how to actually deal with clients who are trying to live in a decentralized space. Everything they do is always, it's just Coinbase. Anyway, to kind of finish things off, forgot to warn everyone, I bought a bit of crypto, and every single time I buy, the prices go down. So this is where we are right now. For those who are not looking at the screen, Ethereum is currently down around 7%. XRP is down around 3.6%. EOS is around 10%. No major losses outside of EOS. EOS, for some reason, pumps really hard when Bitcoin can be up 0.5%. EOS pumps really hard up, and then when the market goes down a tiny bit, EOS also falls very hard as well. No real reasoning as of yet for why the market has gone down. It appears it could be something as simple as we were nearing the end of the tight range trading, and now, volatility is usually seen as something good in the cryptocurrency space. It means that there's activity in the space. So I think that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. I do appreciate all of your support. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Jeffrey Ramsey, Richie Rich III, Amy Starsheen, Jeremy Fox, Jared Schneider, Jim Gardner, Crypto Joe, Jaleel Dowdy, Joey Carafa, Wise Night Owl, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Nick Kanaya, Anthony Charles, Yasha Harari, Travis Haynes, Nick Mangialavori, Professor Wally from Gunbutt University, Arthur Yaku, L. Doug, Brady Niels, Rai, Gilboa Snake, and Vlad the Impaler. It's almost like a song now. It's really weird. I was washing dishes the other day, not that you need to know this, and I was saying the names exactly in order, and I realized like I've like almost memorized them. Kind of weird, not that you need to know that. Anyway, thank you all very much for your generosity to my Patreon supporters. Every single one of you, you're all awesome. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.